You are exhausted, bone deep, soul-crushing exhausted. But the moment your head hits the pillow, your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, your jaw is clenched, your shoulders are somewhere near your ears, and no matter how many deep breaths you take, how much chamomile tea you drink, or how many meditation apps you download, your body refuses to stand down. And here's what everyone tells you. You just need to relax. You just need to stress less. That advice is not just useless, it is biologically incorrect. Because what is happening inside you right now is not a personality flaw. It is not weakness. It is not anxiety in the way most people use that word. It is a trapped physiological emergency signal, a biochemical alarm system that got stuck in the on position, and your body, quite literally, does not know the emergency is over. The myth is that stress is purely psychological, that you can think your way out of it. The truth is that chronic stress rewires your nervous system, reshuffles your hormones, and physically rebuilds the architecture of your brain in ways that make calm feel not just difficult, but biologically foreign. Today, we are going inside that system. We are going to show you exactly what gets hijacked, how the trap closes around you, and, most critically, how to scientifically spring it open. If you want the hidden science of the human body, not generic health advice, hit subscribe. Now, let us dive in. Deep inside your brain, buried beneath everything you consciously think and feel, sits a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of it as your body's smoke detector.
It does not think. It does not reason. It does not care that the threat is a passive-aggressive email from your boss, a traffic jam, or a bill you cannot pay. The moment it senses danger, real or perceived, it fires one singular, non-negotiable signal: emergency, all hands on deck. That signal rockets down your brainstem and triggers your hypothalamus, the command center, which immediately radios your adrenal glands, two small walnut-sized organs sitting on top of your kidneys. And those adrenal glands do one thing with breathtaking speed. They flood your bloodstream with adrenaline, what scientists call epinephrine. Think of adrenaline as your body's emergency generator. The moment the power grid goes down, the moment danger is detected, the generator kicks on. Your heart rate surges, blood is rerouted away from your digestive system and towards your muscles. Your pupils dilate, your breathing shallows and speeds up. Your body is fully, completely, perfectly engineered to fight or flee. And for our ancestors running from a predator, this system was a masterpiece of evolution. The problem is this: the generator was never designed to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When chronic stress keeps the smoke detector constantly firing, your adrenal glands stay in perpetual broadcast mode. And when adrenaline is flooding your system around the clock, this is a primary driver of that wired but exhausted feeling, the racing heart at night, the inability to fully exhale, the sense that your body is bracing for an impact that never comes. Now here is where the trap gets deeper and more dangerous.
Adrenaline is the emergency generator, fast, loud, and immediate. But your body has a second stress chemical, a slower, quieter, and far more consequential one: cortisol. Think of cortisol as your body's emergency construction crew. When the generator kicks on, the construction crew follows. Cortisol's job is to sustain the emergency response, to keep resources mobilized in case the danger lasts longer than a few seconds. It raises blood sugar to give your muscles fuel. It suppresses your immune system because fighting infection is a low-priority luxury when you are supposedly running for your life. It sharpens certain types of alertness, while simultaneously shutting down digestion, reproduction, and long-term tissue repair. Cortisol is brilliant. Cortisol is essential. And cortisol is catastrophically misused by the modern human body. Here is what you need to understand about cortisol's timeline, because this is where everything starts to unravel for most people. Cortisol naturally follows a 24-hour tide. It is designed to peak sharply in the early morning, giving you that initial surge of alertness, and then gradually decline through the day until it reaches its lowest point at night, creating the biochemical conditions for deep, restorative sleep. But when the smoke detector, your amygdala, is chronically triggered, cortisol stops following that tide. It flatlines. It stays elevated day and night, with no meaningful peak and no meaningful trough. And this disruption is a primary driver of three things most people never connect to stress: stubborn belly fat accumulation, immune dysregulation, and the complete destruction of sleep architecture.
The construction crew never goes home. And when the construction crew never goes home, the house starts falling apart. Now we go deeper, because cortisol is not just a chemical floating in your blood. Over time, it is a sculptor of your brain. Here is a concept called neuroplasticity, and for our purposes, think of it as your brain's renovation capacity. Your brain is not fixed. It physically restructures itself based on repeated experience and repeated chemical exposure. Under chronic cortisol exposure, two critical brain regions begin to structurally change. The first is the prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO office. This is where rational thought lives, where you pump the brakes, where you access perspective, patience, and the ability to say, "This is not actually an emergency." Chronic cortisol exposure is associated with a measurable reduction in prefrontal cortex activity, and over extended periods in its actual gray matter density. Simultaneously, the amygdala, the smoke detector, grows more reactive, more sensitized, more trigger-happy. Think about what that means architecturally. The alarm system gets louder and more sensitive. The off switch gets weaker and less responsive. This is why telling a chronically stressed person to just calm down is the equivalent of standing outside a burning building and telling it to put itself out. The biology itself has been restructured to prevent calm. And there is a third player now entering this story, one that most people have never heard of, but which may be the most critical piece of this entire trap. It is called the HPA Axis. Think of the HPA Axis as your body's stress thermostat.
In a healthy system, cortisol rises in response to stress, and then, crucially, feeds back to the brain as a signal to shut down production. The thermostat detects the heat, it turns off the furnace. The system regulates itself. But here is what chronic stress does to this thermostat. It blunts it. It desensitizes the feedback receptors. The thermostat stops reading the temperature accurately. And so even when cortisol is already elevated, even when the furnace is already roaring, the system does not get the signal to stop. The furnace keeps running. The heat keeps rising. This is a primary driver of what is clinically called HPA Axis dysregulation, and it is the core biological engine of what we are calling the emergency mode trap. Your body is not failing to calm down because you are bad at relaxing. Your body is not calming down because the thermostat responsible for detecting calm has been chemically blinded. One final layer, and then we get to the solution. Your nervous system has two operating modes. Think of them as two teams running a relay race. Team 1 is your sympathetic nervous system, your gas pedal. Fight, flight, react, mobilize. This is emergency mode. Team 2 is your parasympathetic nervous system, your brake pedal. Rest, digest, repair, recover. This is safety mode.
In a healthy system, these two teams hand the baton back and forth fluidly throughout the day. Stress hits, the gas pedal engages. Stress passes, the brake pedal takes over. Equilibrium. But in the emergency mode trap, the gas pedal gets chronically depressed, and because of cortisol's effect on the brain, because of HPA axis dysregulation, because of the amygdala's heightened reactivity, the brake pedal becomes progressively harder to engage. This is why the physical symptoms are so relentless and so varied. The tight chest, the disrupted digestion, the chronically tense muscles, the racing heart at rest, the inability to feel truly safe in your own body. These are not random. They are the precise, predictable, physiological signature of a nervous system locked in sympathetic dominance, a body that has forgotten, at the cellular level, what safety feels like. Which means your fix is not another supplement, a different breathing app, or a weekend retreat. You need to systematically reset the biological signals that locked the system in the first place. Here is exactly how we do it. Quick note, the following is for educational purposes only. Please consult your physician or a licensed healthcare provider before making changes to your health routine, especially if you have a diagnosed condition.
Step 1. Signal interruption. Retrain the smoke detector. The amygdala is a pattern recognition machine. It fires based on perceived threat cues, many of which are now stored in your body as physical tension patterns, shallow breathing habits, and postural bracing. The fastest, most evidence-supported way to interrupt the amygdala's threat signal in real time is extended exhale breathing, specifically making your exhale at least twice as long as your inhale. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 8. Why does this work? Your exhale is directly controlled by your parasympathetic nervous system. A prolonged exhale is a direct electrical signal to your vagus nerve, the biological superhighway of the brake pedal, that the emergency is over. It is not metaphorical. It is literal neurological input that begins down-regulating cortisol output within minutes of practice. Do this for 5 minutes upon waking and 5 minutes before sleep. These are the 2 points in your daily rhythm where intervention has the highest biological leverage. Step 2. Access restoration. Reset the thermostat. Because HPA Axis dysregulation blunts cortisol's feedback mechanism, you need to rebuild the thermostat's sensitivity. 2 evidence-backed tools.
First, consistent wake time. Non-negotiable. Your cortisol awakening response, the natural morning surge, is an anchor point for your entire daily rhythm. Disrupting wake time is one of the fastest ways to deepen dysregulation. Stabilizing it begins restoring the rhythm. Second, cold water face immersion. Submerging your face in cold water for 30 seconds triggers the diving reflex, a powerful parasympathetic override that can acutely lower heart rate and cortisol output. This is not a wellness trend. It is a hardwired mammalian survival circuit being recruited in your favor. This is not about burning calories. This is about neurologically rebuilding the off switch. Step 3. Feedback loop rebuilding. Grow back the brake pedal. Because chronic cortisol is associated with reduced prefrontal cortex engagement, you need practices that specifically recruit prefrontal activity to rebuild the brain's capacity for top-down emotional regulation. Structured exposure to non-urgent physical challenge, meaning low to moderate aerobic exercise at a conversational pace for 20 to 30 minutes, is one of the most robustly studied interventions for restoring HPA axis sensitivity and stimulating BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for new brain connections. This is not about burning calories. This is about neurologically rebuilding the off switch. Step 4. Environment redesign. Remove the false alarms. No biological reset will hold if the smoke detector keeps getting pulled 300 times a day by false environmental alarms.
Identify your 3 highest frequency cortisol triggers, often notification overload, sleep environment light exposure, and unstructured consumption of news or social media, and implement hard, timed boundaries. This is not about eliminating stress. This is about reducing the chronic low-grade signal bombardment that keeps the amygdala in a perpetually primed state, so the resets in steps 1 through 3 can actually take root. Your body is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, protecting you from danger with every biological tool it has. The problem is that it got stuck, the alarm got locked, the thermostat got blinded, and no one told you that this was a mechanical problem with a mechanical solution, not a personal failing. Now you know the system. Now you can work with it. The safe reset is not about hacking your biology. It is about communicating with it in the precise language it was built to receive. Give it consistent signals, give it time, and your nervous system will do what it has always wanted to do. Come home. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the #1 symptom you are dealing with right now? Is it the racing heart at night, the inability to fully relax, the constant tension, the broken sleep? Tell me exactly what you are experiencing, because your next video may already be waiting. And if this broke open something you have never heard explained this way before, share it with one person who needs it. You might be giving them the answer they have been searching for years. See you in the next one.